Right, I think this is time for another update because there are a lot of things happening. Before I start with the main thing, let me just show you the DSG gearbox. This was the F version. This was with the first generation of the DQ250, but probably the latest one. They only done it for a few months, and luckily or unluckily for me, I got it. So yeah, the G version. The G1 is, let me show you how you recognize them. So Andrew Smith, obviously. You can see there you go. You see the pan number, the gearbox make 02E 301 103, and this is a G variation. Now my one, instead of G, is F. You say, okay, not much difference. Where there is a big difference. There are small but very important differences. I've shown that before. The flange, obviously the output of the gearbox, where the differential case, the transfer case sits, is different. But as you can see, my adapter plate is already on. There's a little bit of machining I have to do. And the spacers, but it's all doable. There is a way to do it, and not actually a big issue. The drive shaft, I can see it from there. There you go. The drive shafts and the half shaft, sorry, it was still using the one from O2M gearbox, so from the manual, just the manual front-wheel drive gearbox. On the left side, this flange, the output half shaft will not fit. No matter what you do, that is the one we not using. Someone said that the drive shaft, half shaft flanges or output drive shaft flanges for the drive shafts, they're all the same, but they're not. From the Earth version, they have a different PCD, and our CV joints just won't fit. So it's slightly different. Now I'm hoping my Mechatronics is the same, otherwise I will have to fit the one from the other gearbox, and I really want to avoid that. However, that's the deal. The beauty is that all the flanges from the DSG boxes and the manual O2M boxes, we're talking the 250 or O2M, they're all interchangeable, so you can mix them around. So if you have half shafts, again these ones, that one and that one from O2M, you can fit this to this gearbox, no problems. I fitted my DSG TQ50, the G version, the good one, the one we can use half shaft, and it fits perfectly. This is absolutely perfect as a length and PCD and everything. This is a good one. If you don't have that one, use the one from O2M, and then everything is fine. Now, so this is sorted. That was something that was very important. But also another thing that Steve posted on Facebook, that we're working on obviously the engine cover. And the engine cover is actually now not finished, but I'm working on two kind of one-offs. Obviously one is for the MR2 VR6 Turbo we're building to sell. I got a customer, I want him to buy this car, to be honest. Scott, come on, pull the trigger. This car has got your name all over the place. Anyway, jokes aside, Scott is an old customer of mine. I've built a 6Z3 Turbo for him, and he knows he wants this car. He's just holding back, but this is probably his. Just do it, just take it before someone else buys it. Anyways, but get back to us. Once we have the engine cover inside, you can see from here, it's not finished yet, but you can see how much space we got there on the top of the engine, you see. So the reason for that is because I'm not making this engine cover or removable bulkhead for particular engine, for the VR6 we're doing, because it really needs a little, not as much. However, I would like to keep everything nice and clean, because as we have, again this is VR5, so very similar setup, the charge cooler went down a little, should be straight, but you see the charge cooler is in this side of the engine, so here, that is actually the charge cooler from this engine, but I removed it because I was working on the cooling system, which is now finished, and the car is actually working. Found, all the cooling system is sorted, everything is spot on. Great, there was no surprises, so good. So yeah, once the charge cooler is here, You got the turbo, you got the nice pipes, you've seen the pictures before. It looks nice and clean. I mean, you open the boot of this car, the boot, engine lid, whatever you want to call it, and looks clean and neat. You know, we remove the battery from here. We move the battery, you can see it from there, inside the car, inside this kind of like a bigger engine cover or engine bay, to say it. And I won't have everything there. You know, ECU is obviously going to be on this side here, but all the mechanical stuff, you can have your fuel system, you can have your big sweep pod if you want to use on a track, whatever you imagine. And then once you remove it, if you have to do anything big on the car, even if the engine stays inside, believe it or not, you can, well, I've checked on mine. I checked my, because I rebuilt the engine, I wasn't 100% sure on something, and I had to change my timing, because VRs, once you put the compression plate, you got to be careful with the timing, and you can do it in your CG. But only because you can remove all of this. I've done everything from inside the car. I was sitting there, right there, I had my coffee on the dash, and I was doing my timing, because these are very easily removable. Again, this is still a prototype, working prototype. We still have to put the size on it, but this is how it looks like. Now the first ones were even bigger. They started to, they were mounting here on these tabs, which it looked kind of neater, to be honest, but there will be a big compromise. The compromise was that you couldn't retract the soft top, and like someone else pointed, you know, if you have the roll cage like that one, probably there isn't a space to do it. I mean, you can do stuff around it, because, you know, as you trim the dash to put your A-pillars through the dash, you can trim this to put your roll cage in. But because we're doing this from scratch, let's think about everything ahead and do it the way that it suits everyone. So this, as you can see, is slightly lower than the plastic cover, and it's also curved, so you get more space for retracting the soft top. So the soft top, no problems, we go there, because I've checked already, and actually the plastic cover is slightly higher than this, a little bit taller, so this is more space than this that is needed for the soft top to go down. And as for the roll cage, well, just for you, I actually fitted the half of the roll cage, the back section of the roll cage, just to figure that out. Now this is not finished. Well, I've got the loader panel here. I didn't bolt it on because I wanted to show you how much space is underneath and how this actually fits with the roll cage. So this, obviously, once it's in tension, once you got this panel holding this down, you got that much space all around it, because it's kind of curved, the same kind of curvature that the car does on the back there, if you see it. As space goes, this is how much space you have, so plenty. This goes up a little, so it stays like this. You see the cap for the oil, the top of the, this is actually not top of the engine, this is top of the original plenum, which goes on the top of the engine, so you got more space than you're thinking. But even if you want to use an NA non-turbo, bad choice, but your choice, plenty of space. Now we're gonna put a small window, well, a window that or a lid or whatever on top, so you can check your oil level, and you can top up your oil level if you want to from there without removing all of this, because then, you know, it's all nice and easy. But once you got the rail cage, once you got the fixed bulkhead seats, they don't fold forward, they don't slide forward, it's not a 3-minute job anymore to remove this removable bulkhead, because obviously it's a small car, everything is tight, there's no way around it. So we're gonna put a small window there, kind of like a service window, so you just pop it out and check your oil, check your, you know, add oil if you have to. And obviously if you have to do more work than that, then you can remove all two of them, or the top lid, that one, or you can remove the front section. But as you can see, if you remove the front section, you can access to the alternator, the belt, and majority of the stuff, your plenum, your flanges with the charge cooler, with pretty much everything, your cooling system, which again on this side is not done yet. That car is finished, so we can show you that one, but obviously I can't because now I put the front lid on it, so that's why I'm on this one. And that's it really. It's quite simple. And you can also see how much space you go here. So the lid goes from here to here. So you see the battery, your fuel pump is there, you can put a swivel pod of whole fuel system, a few pressure regulator, batteries, whatever. I mean, plenty of space, loads, more than you need. If you want to do something huge like a massive intake plenum, you know, because you're doing a drag car or whatever it comes to your mind, there is a space for it. But the beauty is that we measured once with Steve what happens if you want to put a V8, an Audi V8, LS engine. They come up to roughly here. There is a space for this car to actually put a V10, believe it or not. But let's not go, you know, ballistics, V8 longitudinal, goes up to here. With this lid, with this engine cover, let's call it this way, you can fit an LS in here, and this will be still doable. So this is the reason I made them slightly bigger than we need, because as you can see, the VR5, 6 is just slightly longer. We really don't need that much space over here. But why making everything like a removable bulkhead and then be still cramped? No, just do it proper. We're gonna lose this space anyway, at a degree. We don't need it too much, you know, let's use it for the proper stuff and have this removable bulkhead that will suit anyone. K-swap series, big plenum, no problems. I know there isn't much space for the plenum, now you can have it. You know, changing the alternator. I had a Kate when you said he is in this, and trust me, alternator was where I put it is, and it wasn't actually much closer to the bulkhead, you know, about 10-15 millimeter from the bulkhead, so it's not very simple. This way, you can work on your cooling system, on your alternator, on your belts, on your plenum, or on anything you design. Anything that is accessible from here is easily accessible. Anything that is accessible from the back, look at it. All you have left is this section running on top of the engine, and that's it. Anything else is accessible. Now these VR engines are very tall. And as you can see, the head cover is there. So you say, well, you said you've done your timing, you check your timing. But you can't remove the head cover because it will touch this. You're right, absolutely right. All you had to do is to remove, there's a bolt there on the engine mount, and lower one side of the engine about, I don't know, 4 inches, and that comes out, the plenum comes out. The plugs for the spark plug coils, they come out. The spark plug coils, I think they come up as well, and you can also change your spark plugs in situ without removing anything. So it is tight, but it's possible. No problems. Other than that, all the rest of the jobs are easy too. So yeah, I think this is it. This is the way we're gonna make it. Space for everything, space for the soft top, space for the roll cage, and to be honest, I probably like it even more this way, because having it that tool, it really is not necessary, to be honest. I think the VR engines are the toolest one we can ever put in these cars, and because otherwise they will, you know, they'll be touching that cross member, if you want to call it this way, and that's it. We still got plenty of space. I mean, I can build big ass intake plenum for turbo, because again, I have to build it for this car, and I got plenty of space here. And again, because there is no front, so this is a little bit overshaped, so this is slidey, it's gonna be roughly here, and these I go slightly down. I'm gonna show you the picture maybe on Facebook. I'm gonna post it on page, how the final thing looks like. Now obviously now I'm gonna have to shave the metal and close this side, close that side, do it on the VR, because obviously this car has a priority because we have it almost finished. Actually, should be running fine as well. Let's try it. Dash is working, everything is working, ABS is on because obviously we have the car in the ramp, and speed in the back, obviously no sensors, nothing, so you know. all the boost pipes are finished, the holder for the motorbike battery, and all the clamps and everything, and all behind this engine lid. Obviously this is not gonna be like this. We're gonna put it I'm gonna put something that is very similar to this, kind of like a carpet, but I think I'm gonna use like a sound deadening carpet. It's a bit more expensive, but it's, yeah, just to keep it nice and quiet inside the cabin. So if you drive in space, you know. This shouldn't be any more louder than our normal stuff, and if we be careful with what carpet we're gonna use, we're probably gonna have the same level of noise that you have the original Bulkhead, which is just thin piece of metal, but you know you have the plastic cover on it, so but it doesn't really matter too much. As soon as you hear a little bit of exhaust and the turbo chatter, that's all that matters. Anyways, so I think that's done. Mess everywhere as bloody usual. All the stuff has arrived. We have the new batch of all the mounts. This is the manual gearboxes. We have them now for the DSG boxes as well. And only thing I'm waiting for is supposed to be last week, but again with the holidays in between, I guess people in workplaces took more holidays, and the stuff is arriving tomorrow. The last engine months for the DSG stuff, and again these were the one that I need to check. I had to check if it was correct. It wasn't. Slight changes. We had the stuff arriving from the laser company, and it wasn't the way we asked them. They missed a file, so I had to do it again. It's supposed to be last week Friday, and now it's tomorrow, which is today is Thursday, so tomorrow is Friday, and hopefully they're gonna arrive tomorrow all correct. The problem with that, again, because they had it wrong, now we only ordered 2 batches, like 2 sets of them, and we got to make sure they have it right, and only then we can order the whole batch of 20, 30 or 40 or 50, whatever we're gonna order. But it's a slow process and there's nothing we can do. I do apologize for the people who were waiting for them, but this is out of my hands. There's so much we can do. I can design this stuff, we can do development, we can do testing. We have a good company we're working with, but even them, they need time to do this stuff. They need time to order the materials, they need time to actually run all the process through. And we're not the only customers they had, so overall they've been great, but this is how it goes. Sometimes we just cannot speed the stuff up. The only thing is, we were counting on this stuff being ready 2 weeks ago, and it isn't, and it's, to be honest, no one's fault. But then when a customer pays me, sees me to be at fault, and I totally understand this, so I apologize for that. But from now on, everything is going smoothly. So people are asking when these are gonna be available. Next week, I think. All right, jokes aside, they went on smoothly because I've done all the rest of the development. Everything else is done. The big headache, it disappeared because we solved it. We got everything now. I can't show you now, but also we added now the cooling system. Again, I can supply the main things and explain how to do all the rest as with the other 1.8, because the stuff you have in house or kind of recycle from your old engine, or the pipes that are actually on the MR2 chassis, they can use them on the VR engine or 1.8 engine. You don't have to remove it, and we're not trying to make as much money as possible. We're trying to make this making as much sense as possible. I'm doing the stuff for me and for Steve. The 1.8 engine swap was exactly the way I wanted to have, and then we put those pieces and parts in production. So you have, with the VR stuff, I'm doing exactly the same. I'm having VR5 turbo DSG gearbox, and doing everything the way I wanted to have in my car, and have it easy to service and easy to work with in the future. Same plan as we had with 1.8. That's why 1.8 is so successful. And then as a consequence, all those beads they've been taken off, and trying to work it out the way to put them in the production. This is how we work. So the ESG in mind, again, is because different variations of the gearboxes, and I need to find out what it is. This is why at the beginning I said this was fortunate and unfortunate. Fortunate for you, unfortunate for me, but for you good, because you know I had the worst case scenario that the gearbox that shouldn't go on. So if you have that one, I already found the solution. If you have the G version, it just goes on without any modification, so less headache. But we're working everything out. So slowly but surely with that. So again, now all of that has been done. This removable bulkhead. Now, like I said, next week, yeah, possibly yes, because this is all 2mm aluminium sheets, and I can actually, you know, before we have them laser cut and all that stuff, I don't know when it's gonna happen. I can just, you know, do it the way I've done for this. I mean, I've already made both of them, the whole this structure and whole that structure today only. It's not difficult, you know. I can do it. Obviously, it's not as beautiful as laser cutted because the edges might be a little bit, you know, different. It's all hand bend, as you can see here. And my sheet bender is not as big to fit one of these in, so I have to do it manually. Small notches with the angle grinder, you can see them, they're not as nice as with the laser cutter, but everything is the same. It fits exactly the same. Obviously this has to be refinished, and more screws in there, more bolts in there with the captive threads and all the stuff, and then obviously you're gonna put a carpet on the top anyway, so you know, individual parts probably, so you can take 1, 2 or all of them at once out if you want to. But kind of do it yourself kit is probably available next week if you're okay for me to just hand cut it the way I've done these ones. But I need to finish them, obviously, the sides, and then you know the way to attach them to the frame. There's gonna be a space for obviously for the battery cables probably to run through it. I don't know, we'll see. I need another week to finish this off, but also I have plenty of space to do because stuff to do, because I'm finishing mine, which is always at the last result. When I have nothing else to do, kind of, I go with something to do, then I do something on mine. That's why it's going so slow. But this, as you can see, is almost there. We have the full exhaust, the engine is in the right position, we got the gears, we got the clutch, we got the engine cover, and we're gonna refinish here, we got the fuel system, we got to change the regulator, put the wastegate on, and then we go on the chassis, because she's gonna receive a new subframe, one of these beauties, but the final product in stainless, and then suspensions, wheels, anti-sway bars, anti-roll bars, reinforced ones, blah blah, to make it handle slightly better, and that's it. And she's ready to go. Anyways, see you soon.